Good Monday afternoon, everybody. My name is Eli Robinson. I am the Chief Trivia Officer here at Water Cooler Trivia. What do we do here at Water Cooler? We have a weekly trivia game for you, your friends, your coworkers, your office mates, your groups, your organizations to play with each other. Free response has to do with something going on in the world, and then we show up here, after you play the game, you show up here on Twitch and YouTube and talk about what was interesting about the game. You can find us online at watercoolertrivia.com. You can find me online at Chief Trivia Officer. All right, so this week's game is called a Trivial Coronation. I would imagine, unless you were been living under a rock, you were aware that the coronation of King Charles, I believe III, is this weekend. So here's how we set it up. On Saturday, May 6, 2023, for the first time in 70 years, Westminster Abbey will be holding a coronation ceremony to officially anoint a new ruler of the United Kingdom. You can see the crown jewels located there. As much as we respect Charles III and Camilla as king and queen consort, the two of them are only a small part of trivia royalty. So let's take this opportunity to coronate some other trivia nobles. Okay, so we didn't kind of like fully reveal what the connection to the game, to this week's game was. However, we thought it was going to be fairly obvious. And then it kind of shows that maybe people didn't necessarily pick up on what was going on. So here's what the results ultimately look like. Only about 10% of people got perfect scores, which is not terrible in and of itself, just probably a little bit lower than we would have expected. And then the really big surprise was that you saw quite a few 8s and 7s. So the average was 7.73 and the median was 8. Okay, so what's going on here? It was kind of tough to discern like why the scores were a little bit lower. I mean, these aren't terribly low scores, but why the scores were a little bit lower than we imagined. And then so we went back, and this is the third like hidden string game that we've done as part of the Water Cooler Weekly. So the first was Halloween last year, where all the answers contained the word boo. And then Easter this year, so a few weeks ago, all the questions contained the word egg, and you had to find them. And then this week, all of the answers either contained the word queen or king. Now, all three games seem to be missing. People seem to be missing what was going on with the game. We debated actually explicitly talking and saying like, you should know, like all of the answers have the word king or queen. However, some of these questions were so easy that we were surprised that people didn't pick up with that. We have a lot of conversations around here about when we ultimately end up being too clever. That boo game last year was like far and away, we were way too clever and so many people missed what was going on. But oh man, like this was really surprising as to what happened. So the question that was most emblematic of that was this one. So the question was, in chess, the only time you can move two pieces in a single turn is when you decide to castle. One of the two pieces that you move is the rook. What is the other piece? Okay, so we would have thought this question would have been 85%. It may have been, we would have probably guessed it would be 70%, whatever, without any sort of cluing. But based on, this is the last question of the quiz. So if you kind of picked up and should have picked up what was going on, then there's really only two answers, king and queen. And we kind of thought that most people would be cued into it. The fact that only 65% of people got this right is like really surprising. And ultimately it's because either people didn't pick up on the hidden string, or the fact that we're all kings and queens, or whatever it may be. On the flip side, you do see examples of people actually appreciating the conceit of the game. So upon initial listening, you may have thought that Fetty Wap was referring to a woman who's really good at catching mice, but no, what 2014 song is actually about a person who Bustle describes as a cosmopolitan, street-savvy, versatile young woman who prioritizes her loved ones and her passions. So this was clearly the hardest question that we asked. As you know, maybe people don't know mid-teens rap. The correct answer was Trap Queen. Only about 45% of people got that one right. But you saw in like some answers that people gave, that people were able to realize, okay, I need to put what's going on in the question with either the word king or queen. Most people put queen because it was a word, or because it was a woman, as said in this question. But like cat queen is a great guess. Cheese queen, I don't know what a cheese queen is. Killer queen, which was, I thought, a funny homage to The band queen was one of the answers earlier. And then somebody actually put trap king, which is like a really bad, unfortunate situation for that person because like I think they probably just missed one of the words in the question. But otherwise, like you can see where this conceit is really powerful and really fun. I reckon that like the people who figured it out would have like really enjoyed this week's game. And then there's going to be a bunch of people who see it and they're like, I don't really understand what's going on. They're probably watching this video right now. And so yeah, hidden strings are really a fun way to do this. But we will continue to decide to what extent we will include the hidden strings in the questions or not, because ultimately it would be very fun if we continue to do so. Once again, my name is Eli Robinson. I'm the Chief Trivia Officer here at Water Cooler Trivia. We have a fun game next week. I don't want to ruin anything, but Mother's Day is coming up. Until then, keep on tripping on.